All right, YouTube, how you doing? How you doing? It's your man, King Lockett, here with another video. Hold on, let me get my drink together right quick so I can get comfortable. A little camera shot right now. Good old 1800. All right, now, I recently did a video on how to prepare your mind for prison. I had a young lady ask a question. She wanted to know how should she conduct herself as a family member. You know, she left a comment saying that her brother is about to do 10 years. He's fresh on his bed. She loved him so much. She just wanted him to change. My advice to her was, you know, to keep communication with him as much as possible in a positive way. And also send him a bunch of reading materials that's beneficial as far as education to help build his mind, you know. So you can go check that video out on preparing yourself to do a prison bid. Today would be for the family members, because we all know that when a relative has to go through time, we as family members, or you as family members, because I've never been on the outside, you know, dealing with this situation. I was always on the inside, now I'm on the outside. But you know, as well as I do, that you're actually doing the prison bid as well. You know, we like to say, hey, you did the crime, you do the time, I'm not doing the time. Well, actually you are if you're a support system. My mother was with me every step of the way. I had friends, brothers, relatives, everybody was with me every step of the way. So it was like they doing time as well, you know. So from the outside in, I want to cover this topic here, you know. A lot of times it can become very stressful. You're dealing with a heartbreak. You know, your brother, your son, your father, someone has got sentenced to prison. It's hurtful. It's not something we all want to deal with. It's like your loved one has been removed from life. It's basically death. Because they no longer exist in the real world, or the real world outside of prison. And speaking of the real world, you have to understand that, you know, we as inmates, guys in prison, we don't view the outside world anymore as we used to. We no longer have the responsibilities, the bills, the stuck in traffic. You know, we don't understand a lot of times what's going on out there in the real world, because the real world outside of prison, because definitely the real world inside of prison. We don't necessarily connect with you guys no more outside. So we don't understand when you miss a phone call. You can't accept the call because you have bills to pay. We looking at it like, oh my God, they're not answering my call, man, what's going on? You know, we forget the small details of maybe you carrying the baby to the car, the children is running around and you trying to get things together. You stuck in traffic, the police is over there. You don't want to necessarily answer a call, or maybe you have some things going on in your life to where you're at work and you're tired and you just don't want to talk. So it can be very stressful as a loved one with someone in prison. You know, a lot of times I know it's kind of difficult, but you got to kind of like try to put yourself in our shoes. A lot of times we men are surrounded by nothing but masculine energy, and concrete, brick, steel, you know, just a bunch of testosterone. So sometimes we just want someone to talk to, you know, sometimes a female, a lot of times a female. This is why, you know, you'll see a lot of women running the prison system. Because if the prison system were ran by nothing but men and there's nothing but men on the inside, I don't think there'll ever be a time of peace. Because a lot of times we look at the females come through and we pretty much chill and try to, you know, peacock, you know, flap our feathers out and show that, you know, we try to calm down a little bit and try to put on for the women. So we be needing that feminine energy as well. You know, that's why a lot of men try to reach out to female friends and have female companions, you know, just someone to talk to sometimes. And dealing with our family members, a lot of times we just want to talk to somebody. We want to hear about the small details. Oh, I'm going grocery shopping. Oh, for real? What are you getting? You know, I mean, it may seem petty and small to you, but to us, it's like lettuce. Wow, okay, cool. What's the prices now? You know, what are you doing later? You know, so we try to fit in with society and stay connected, you know, with society as much as possible, connected with you as much as possible. It kind of free our mind a little bit. It kind of give us the sense of, you know, reality outside of of the prison walls, because inside the prison system, we know automatically we cannot focus so much on what's going on outside, because that's how you can end up in some detrimental situations, dangerous situations on the inside. It can cost you your life at times. It can cost you bodily injuries. It can really cause harm to your life to focus on what's going on outside, and you're not, and you disconnect yourself from the inside, you know? So a lot of times we just want to talk about nothing or just listen. So first thing I want to touch up on is the money. When sending your relatives some money in prison, this could be a whole nother bill that you have to pay if you support them and you're really trying to be there for them. You know, I seen a lot of guys in prison that have like $500. Their mother just sent them $500 to carry them out for some time. Do not do that. That's a no-no. And I'm not, this is just my own personal, you know, advice. You know, do what you want to do. But in my opinion, in the state of Georgia, you can only spend $60 at a time in commissary. So that $500 ain't necessarily needed. You can save the $500 yourself if that's what you're gonna do. Don't put it on the inmate account, you know, and he just have all this money, because a lot of times, you know, a lot of men in prison aren't responsible. You know, they don't know how to manage money, which is some of the reason why a lot of them are in prison anyway. Or, you know, a lot of us, obviously we wasn't disciplined enough in certain areas, and that's why we got incarcerated. So my advice is, you save the money if that's what you're gonna do anyway, and you kind of budget for them, you know. And if your relative is anything like myself, what I did was I only took enough of what I needed at the time, and I still budgeted my stuff, my food, my commissary, I didn't just eat everything up and have to call you back and say, hey, I didn't have habits, you know, because some inmates have habits, cigarettes, drugs, and a lot of times what they do is they'll extort their own family members, you know, and owe the drug man so much money, owe the phone man so much money, and they're making it seem like they're eating a lot, and, you know, and you end up worrying yourself, going crazy about sending money so much, but at the same time, you don't want to not send your relative no money and have them suffering in there. So now you're confused, you're perplexed, you don't know what to do. You know, you don't have no one to call and say, hey man, what's going on? Because a lot of times as prisoners, we aren't so honest all the time. You know, me, myself, personally, I think it was only just a couple of times I even received money from my loved ones on the outside. You know, I was privileged enough to have the intellect to, you know, the business mindset to where I flip my stuff. So I'll buy food items and then I'll 2 for 1. I give $100 away for 2 back when store day come or commissary come. And I discipline myself for about 3 weeks and won't eat my stuff just to build up like so much food. It's like building your kitchen. So that way, when I do want to pig out and eat and do what I do, I'm not losing anything. I don't have to receive any money from the outside because I'm holding my own. You know, this is something very important to teach a loved one, how to hold their own and manage their money while incarcerated. You know, this is very important. Also, when it comes to phone time can be very expensive in the prison system. You know, from the state of Georgia, you know, you make your collect calls. It's like one flat rate, like maybe 2 minutes $2 to actually accept the call. Then it's like 15 cents per minute or something like that. And a lot of time we blow those phones up. You know, there be situations going on at home, maybe uncle's sick or whatever. You're trying to explain this stuff, you know, and it just, next thing you know, you got a bill. You paying like maybe another $500 a month, $600 a month, $800 2 weeks on phone calls. Well, in the state of Georgia, a lot of us able to have cell phones. We get them in the prison system a very special way. You know, I can't speak for the rest of the states. So this is a blessing to a lot of inmates, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of family members, because I myself always had a cell phone, you know. I'm thankful for that. And what I would do, and a lot of guys like myself would do, we would consider ourselves a phone carrier. a phone carrier service provider like Verizon or AT&T or something. So what I'll do is sell phone time. So I may have a small, depending on the inmate. I always had a heart a little bit. Depending on the inmate and how he's able to receive money. What I would do is I would set up maybe $60 a month. That'll cover my phone plan. And what I do is give him 30 days to make 2-hour calls. So he can have an hour in the morning, an hour at night. And what I would also do is, and this helps out, that's way cheaper than what you would pay if you're paying on the system phone service, the prison system phone service. You're saving a lot of money because now you get to talk a whole hour. You got to worry about an operator recording your calls. These are throwaway phones, so you can talk about what you want to talk about. You have another hour late at night. He can make calls to whoever he want to call in the United States of America or wherever he's trying to make a call. We got Instagram and Facebook and all that good stuff. He can reach out on WhatsApp and touch people all over the globe if that's what he want to do with his phone, his personal phone time. And also, everything was confidential. I never allowed someone to go in someone else's messages and all of that good stuff. If you send your relative a message that says outside of his phone time. So what I would do is, I know a lot of times we want to say something very important to our family member about their children and about the grandmother, the mother sick or something. You might send a text message that's outside of his coverage fee or whatever. So what I would do is immediately stop services and go to that inmate and say, hey man, you might want to check on your people right quick. Like, here's the phone. Hey man, I give you a quick 10, 15 minutes, whatever you need, brother, take your time, and I'll put everything else on hold until he handles it. That is very important, and that takes us a long way when it comes to peace. Also, the phone is very important. I think they should allow cell phones in the prison system. I know it's a security, you might have a mass rapist in prison and get a call and say that's the guy, and then now you want to kill that guy or whatever. But as long as that type of stuff don't go on, I think that it's a very wise idea for inmates to have cell phones, because now we get to show the inhumane things that go on, and we can also protect ourselves and our loved ones. And I say that to say this right here. Like, say for instance, you have some inmates who, like I said, extort their own family members. And when they extort their own family members, they may have drug habits, hound this, hound that, whatever, mismanaging the money, gambling up all the money, and now they owe these people, and now these people they want their money. So now they holding up situations for ransom and, giving your loved one a hard time. So what happens in this situation is the family member is able to reach out for help. Now, on the flip side of it, you may have your family member, your loved one who's incarcerated, lying to you. I see this a lot. Mom, they trying to rape me. Mom, they about to kill me, man. I need some money. Please send me $150 like right now. I need it. And now mom's is going crazy. Oh my God, blah, 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 oh my God. So now mom's gonna call the prison system, the warden. Hey, my son down there, and he's getting taken advantage of. He's been extorted. I got a phone call from him, blah, 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 blah. And now they sending the whole tactical force and we can paint about gas, maced, laid out on the floor because your loved one told a lie. There was nothing of such going on at this time. So what happens is a guy like myself know this type of stuff going on. What I would do is take it upon myself to reach out to the family members like, hey, I record something. Your son is okay. Ain't nothing. The problem with your son is this here. He's such and such and such and such and such and such and such. And I kind of counsel them along the way so that they would be okay, and they can always reach out to me. Hey, I just want to know if blah, 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 blah. He asked for this and that. I know this may seem a certain type of way, but I'm trying to protect my investment. This is how I make my money with this phone. And this is how I keep my connections and my cash flow, my passive income flowing in every month, every week, every day. This is how I eat, so you're not about to destroy that, So that's just how it is, in the prison system. When it comes to cell phones, and you're on the outside looking in, you have someone a lot of times where you can reach out to, hey, bam, it's good. I don't have to worry so much because, my loved one is being taken care of, Also, on another tip, a lot of times I notice sometimes even my family members will get frustrated sometimes. I make calls, hey, what's going on? Hey, I'm busy right now, blase, 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 blase. They get kind of frustrated because I'm like, yo, I just need you to go take this over here to there, and I'm sending money for such and such and such to pay her rent. So I need you to go make sure that she did blase, blah, he, or whatever the case may be, and we driving our loved one crazy. Only thing I got to say to that is just be patient with your inmate relative and remain calm and try to understand that we're not connected to reality at the time. We were pretty much just, with a reality outside of prison. We just pretty much just being a little inconsiderate because we're so anxious all the time. Everything with us is based on time. A time to eat, a time to sleep, a time to wake up, so when we get a little time where we can actually call our own shots, that's what we do. And we focus on that. Make sure I'm touching up on everything. I need to start taking better notes. I done pretty much cleared that whole notepad, but I still got a lot I want to discuss on this topic. I also want to talk about relationships in prison. I call it lockdown love. A lot of you women, I can't speak from the males that date female prisoners, but I can speak from the males who date, female women outside, women who date men in prison, I myself had a couple of girlfriends while I was in prison who was outside, trying to hold on to a relationship with a man in prison. That can be a gift and a curse, because I've seen a lot of men, they get phone calls, they hear a guy in the background, they go fucking bizarre. They go crazy. And it can cost them their life. It can cost them someone else's life. It's just as simple as, hey man, you all right today? Yeah, I'm all right, man, God, leave me alone. And a lot of times you have that on your face after you don't receive some crazy information from outside, and you walking around with this aura, like, we call it being drunk. Like, bro, you drunk right now. What's going on? You all right? So we try to keep an eye on you, you know what I mean? Or an eye on the fellow inmate or whatever. But those relationships can be a good thing because on the flip side, when you have someone you can call on, they're coming to visit you, you can sneak a kiss in here, a hug in there, have a little phone sex, all that good stuff, man. It kind of helps the man in that position, relax a little bit and be cool. But a lot of times that can be very tough being on the outside, And my advice to you women who have a loved one that you're in love with who's incarcerated, a lot of times, you have to remember to stay focused yourself, especially if he's doing a bid, he wants you to not have sex with this person, and he wants you not going on dates. He may be one of them guys that just, like myself, no reality. Hey, you're going to have to do what you got to do. I'm in here. It ain't nothing I can do for you. So I appreciate the time that you're sharing with me. I think that's the best way. Even as a woman, I think you should position him to think like, hey, baby, I love you. I really do. I'm waiting for you to come home to the best of my ability. You have to understand that this is life and human nature. You got to give it to him raw and uncut. Give it to him. Don't hold nothing back. And because he's in this position to become a man in the first place, to conquer his emotions and to control his mind and anger and feelings and stuff. So what you want to do is be an asset to that. You want to implement this. So you want to give him the most gutter information as possible. Hey, yes, guys, talk to me. Yes, I speak back. I'm not going to just be an animal out here just because you're in prison. I know you want me to wait. I am going to wait, but I'm human. It's only so much toys can do, And I don't need you calling, stressing me all the time why I won't pick the phone up and why I ain't answer this, because I'm dealing with life out here, something that I can't let go of or neglect because you're in prison. Just like I can't deal with and get mad at you or what's going on in prison. I got to just know that you're there and I'm here and that's just what it is. And allow him to meditate, become angry at you for a minute, hang up the phone. It don't matter. He needs you. You don't need him. You're outside. And even if he becomes angry and call himself want to break up because of what you said, still support him. Because you're showing him that you genuinely care unconditionally. and you kind of respect him unconditionally, or you respect him fully unconditionally. But he needs to understand that it ain't in your intentions to break him or hurt him or leave him, but it's life. Things happen because he could be in, if he wanted to keep you in the first place, if you was already with him before you went in, he would have made better decisions to stay out there with you. Now, I understand a lot of times we end up in situations that we can't help. And that may play on your emotions and your heart and say, okay, well, he can't help the situation here, and now we're trying to get him out. Good, fight. But don't let him live this fantasy thinking that you're not going to make any mistakes, young lady. You understand what I'm saying? You're a woman, and woman has needs. Y'all are more sexually driven than we are. This is what I used to tell brothers straight up. Like, bro, come on, bro. I'm not saying your girl doing this or doing that, but you need to think like this is a great possibility and a chance that this is what's going on. So go on and get it out your system, So, and I would share in a later video some of my experiences of my personal relationships with girlfriend and boyfriend in the prison system, because I too myself even tried to become a husband and marry a good friend of mine who's still my friend to this day while incarcerated, So yeah, that's the best advice I can give the family members on the outside, is that you're actually doing time with this individual. My mom used to come see me a lot. I mean, she came a lot aside from, my girlfriend or whatever. And she watched my transition. She watched me change from what I was, this little thug, gangster in the streets, player, playboy, pimp, or whatever you want to call it. And I changed into this guy I am now, shirt tucked in, clean cut, smooth, trying to handle business and do things a little differently, legitimately, And she watched this process, and she was proud. She was like, yo, I don't mean to be funny on that, son. Don't take this the wrong way. But I think the best thing that ever happened to you was coming to prison. And I was like, well, Mama, I don't find that offensive, because I understand what you're saying. I see it from the female officers, because the female officers, when it comes to lockdown love, they choose up on certain men, There are certain men in the prison system who the women prey on, because they know the diamond in the rough when they see the diamond in the rough. They know, I can't even count how many times the women would actually approach me, or maybe I'll find one and I'll approach her, and we kind of have a great connection, we exchange numbers and we build a great empire. And we make a lot of money together, or we establish a whole lot, and that's a whole nother topic, a whole nother story. And because that's dealing with an officer who's actually on the outside, who decided to take on a role, risk her life, risk her job, risk everything for someone like myself, and it all end up being very beneficial, So it's ups and downs to that, Because a lot of times, even as a female officer, I want to give you some advice also. A lot of times you got to, ignore the person that you are into. Act like he don't exist when you're in his dorm at count time and you're looking in the rooms and stuff and all that. Don't show, because I had a couple of females that kind of like made the spot hot. I had one female come in the room one day. I'm putting cocoa butter on my face, want to keep the stuff clean. I got my shirt off, brushing my teeth, greasing up, the abs and everything, showing the pets. And all that good stuff. And she come in the room like, because I was never one of the guys outside the room with my shirt off, walking around, like I'm, exercising. I always was reserved for some reason. I don't know why. Even to this day, a lot of women say, why are you so modest? Take your shirt off sometime. Have a good time, But in the prison system, I just didn't want to bring on a certain type of image. I kind of wanted the officers to know that I'm a different type of breed. I'm cut from another cloth. I don't move how I would say a trick move, that want to just pay for something, and even if it's his image, you're going to pay with his image. I don't do none of that. You need to choose up on me. You need to choose up on me 100% me. You know what I mean? Catch me off guard, and that's how you get it. And I get it all to you. You feel what I'm saying? So that's how it was. So she was like, oh my God, I didn't know you. I mean, I knew you had a physique up under there, but I didn't know it was like this. God, can I touch you? And I'm like, I'm like stuck, because I knew we kind of keep eyes at each other. We lock in a lot. That happens a whole lot, But she put her hands on me. She touched me. She kind of backed me up against the wall and said, man, they can let you go for like 15 minutes that'll be perfect for me, you know. And the point I'm making is, I had a roommate laying, an older white guy, laying right there on the bed watching the whole time. And in my mind, I'm like, oh shit, she about to get both of us sent out of here, man. You know, she about to get both of my, I'm knocking a couple. She about to, that must be a sign to take a sip. She about to get both of us knocked off in here, you know. So as she touched me and did all that, I kind of jerked her up and put her up on the wall and said, listen. You ever heard at the zoo, don't feed the animals? I am a gorilla and a lion perfectly blend together. Do not do this, all right? And I sat her down and it kind of scared her and turned her on at the same time. But she put her hands on me, I put my hands back on her, but in a respectful way, because I still have to look at her as a sister. You're still a sister, baby. You're beautiful, but at the same time, we got somebody right here that can really ride a kite. And I'm gonna talk about kites in the video. It's a snitch message that you don't never see, and all of a sudden you can bust it. You know, so it's like a kite is what we call it, but we'll talk about that on another video. So my advice is to the women who find an inmate man that they feel like, whoa, this is a catch. This guy right here just need to be guided and molded and brought up out of here. Hey, he'll be a good mate. He'll be a good match. Act like you don't know him, because I have a wonderful sister that even to this day we still speak and say hello to each other, and I never expose any names or anybody like that, but at the same time, we have such a beautiful connection, and I always had such a beautiful connection even behind the walls. And now that I'm out, we still have a beautiful connection, you know? And because she played it right. She played it right. Ignore, you don't exist, you're invisible. Once the initial contact was made and we exchanged what we had to exchange, ain't no more we need to talk about. Matter of fact, I don't even like you. I don't even like her, man. Tell her to get on up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Moving to another dorm somewhere, you know? So you mothers and fathers out there, especially you fathers, I want to talk about the men, because 90% of the prison system is a bunch of mama boys. I think it's 85% of the juvenile system in the state of Georgia is mama boys, raised by mamas. But I myself was raised by my father and my mother, not in the same home. It was two homes, but I always had a stepfather, either a stepmother. So I still had the best of both worlds. But my father never visited me in prison, which is okay. I understand. Tough love. He always told me, son, if you go down for something that you really believe in and you fought for what you believe in, you call me. I'm going to be there. But, you know, I was warned and, you know, about certain situations and stuff happened, you know, and hey, Dad was like tough love. But at the same time, when I sit in the visitation room and I look around the visitation room, I see a bunch of sisters, a bunch of women, a bunch of girlfriends, a bunch of mothers. You know, it's very few times, I probably can count on one hand where I actually seen a father come in there and sit with his son and talk to him. You know, a male pastor or something like that, you know, that actually come to a visiting room, a visiting area and sit face to face and kind of build on a more intimate, private setting, you know, on another level. You know, I think it's very important that we as men, if we have a male relative in the prison system, it's best that we ourselves, if we can, you know, if you're allowed in, to go in there and sit down and talk to the gentlemen, you know, because mothers are naturally nurturers. You know, no matter what her baby do, she's going to be there. No matter if he's the top criminal, murderer, mass killing, she's gonna be there, and she's gonna talk to her son. You know, that's just what it is. So that's I understand that women are natural nurturers, so that's what they're gonna do. But men need to learn how to mix in that nurturing with that masculinity. You know, there's nothing wrong with being a nurturer. There's nothing wrong with giving your son a hug. There's nothing wrong with giving your son a kiss. You know, my little boys, I kiss them all the time. What's up? I'm gonna give them that tough love, boy. Hey, what's going on? So you'll know, man. You know, I hug them. What's up, bro? You know, I love you, bro. You know what I mean? Because I know what it takes. But I still keep it masculine at the same time. Not all that, baby. No, bump that, you know. Because at the end of the day, if you keep pacifying these boys, you know, pacifying them, then they end up in a real life situation. That's when you get them calls. They turned upside down with a broomstick stuck in them somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And because they don't know how to, you know, because they bumped into another guy, and now it's like, man, what you do? They don't know how to handle their emotions, and it turn into a fight. Or somebody say, man, fuck you. And then they take that as, oh my God, so, but being able to take that tough love and understand how to project that tough love, it's like, whatever, bro, that's good. Let's keep pushing, man. We got a misunderstanding. We debating about this. We debating about that. Well, I tell you what, let's keep pushing. And ain't no hard feelings at the end of the day, So you family members on the outside, always keep in mind that you are doing time as well. Don't have in your, if you love your loved one and you want to be in your loved one's corner, I'm putting you, I wish my mom could come talk right now because she was at every visitation, all those years, every weekend, like took trips. I'm like, Mama, you ain't got to do all this. Now I got to come. I'm doing this time with you. I'm doing time with you. We doing time together. The correction officers, they doing time. They stuck in them booths for like 12 hours of the day. They more locked down than we are. So there's a lot of people doing time here. They just the inmate, they confined in a little box. At least I get to walk around, go on yard and participate in different activities. They stuck for 12 hours. They getting paid for it. Well, hell, I'm getting paid for it too, But yeah, keep in your mind that you are doing time. Do not put your mind in a place to where you're like, I'm not doing time, bump them. I just deal with them when I can. No, don't worry yourself. Don't go crazy over the little stuff that they got going on. Because one thing about it, I don't care what nobody say, that's like one of the safest places to be if the inmate knows how to conduct themselves. They go in looking good, come out looking good like myself, real talk. You know what I mean? So, hey, that's just what it is. Come out a better person if you know how to conduct yourself. So your role on the outside is to help mold them from the outside in. Hey, boom, self-help books. Reading material. Don't send them all that black novel stuff about gangster stuff that they was already doing in the streets. That's why I never read all the gangster stories and all these little books about the drug kingpin and all that, because I felt like I just left that environment. Right now I need to read about something else. I want to know how to be another type of kingpin, legitimately, legally, So send them books that will help them in life. Psychology books, business books. Robert Kiyosaki is a great guy. I read his books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, 1 and 2, all his books. I read Donald Trump books way before he became president. I read Donald Trump books. I wanted to know how he became who he is today. I read Warren Buffett books. Learned a lot from Warren Buffett. These type of men inspired me to go into the business world. I read a whole lot of stuff. I was on YouTube researching a lot of stuff, So you kind of want to be that platform for your loved one to actually grow and be a better person. So that's your role in society. Don't necessarily tell them in your life as far as what has a negative impact, So kind of keep it positive. That's all I'm gonna do right now. I gave you 33 minutes of over 30 minutes of some good information. If you have any questions, hey, message me, leave a comment. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. I have a whole lot of more content coming. Matter of fact, I'm about to do another video that focuses more on the lockdown level and other situations after this video, and I'll be posting it shortly. So I hope you guys enjoy this brief educational video as far as preparing yourself for prison from the outside in versus the inside out, All right? Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, pass this on to your loved ones, your friends, even your inmate relative, whoever. Leave your comment. I'll respond as I made this video in response to a young lady comment. All right? Y'all take it easy, stay free, stay out of trouble, and I'll be back at you.